What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So today I will be going over a tournament that happened in China, so in Wuhan, literally 2 days ago. So this is completely fresh in the OCG. So of course, we are going to be looking at decks that don't currently exist, but this is going to be a very good preparation for when we're actually going to be getting those decks in the TCG. So before we get into this video, make sure you like and subscribe, check me out on Twitch and Instagram, and now let's jump right into it. So as you can see, the number one position was actually, the number one place was actually won by Tier Laments. This is actually ridiculous because we keep seeing Splight dominating everything, always being like pretty close to tier 0. I mean, 54% is ridiculously unfair, consistently just destroying everyone in the metagame, but for some reason, Tier Laments is actually doing ridiculously well. So it's that kind of deck where if you ban Splight, Tier Laments will become tier 0 in its place because it is super consistent. And it's also very powerful. It summons Winda, Dragostapelia, whatever. A lot of negates, and it's very resilient as well. Doesn't lose too much to Maxi, so a lot of the really good thing that Splight has in against the other decks might not necessarily work against Tier Laments. And I actually think in the TCG, Tier Laments might maybe be a little better than Splight, but don't quote me on that because this is just a maybe, and I'm saying that because we don't have to be afraid of Maxi in the TCG, whereas in the OCG you do have. So if you can search Maxi in the Splight deck by special summoning it with the Gigantic Splight and then bouncing it back from the field to the hand with Swafrog, then that's actually very, very scary, and that's a really good argument in favor of Splight. But again, that is not the case for us in the TCG. So yeah, second place, Lawn Mowing 60 card Tier Lament Shadal. And then after that, Danger Tier Laments, which was a deck that was kind of created and or popularized by the 2018 World Champion, which is, I think, Chia Chang Wang, who won with the Trickstar deck. And then Splight Evil Twin, very good deck. Splight, and then we have no idea what these decks were. Exorcister, very, very good deck. This is also a Tier 1 deck as soon as we're going to be getting Exorcister Malfa. And the other card, Lithania or whatever, very, very, very good cards that actually makes no sense. And yeah, whatever, Splight, etc., blah, blah, blah. So, very, very freaking insane metagame. And when you look at the first deck list, you might understand why this deck is that good. We've gotten to a point where you don't even have to be playing the branded Fusion package anymore because the engine itself is ridiculous. So, this guy just doesn't even care. He's playing every single Tier Laments monster in the game as a 3 of. Can you actually believe this? Like freaking 12 Tier Laments monsters and a monster I have not seen in so long, which is King of the motherfucking Swamp. But like, it actually makes so much sense when you think about it because King of the Swamp is an aqua monster. It becomes the substitute for Reno Heart if you want to. And on top of that, you can discard it to search polymerization, so you can make Guardian Chimera. This is actually insane. This is actually a pretty innovative tech because it allows him to break boards going second, but also still make boards going first. You can still hard fuse into your monsters, and then, you know, they're getting sent to the graveyard by a card effect, so then you can trigger all their graveyard effects and make even more fusion monsters. So it wouldn't be that unrealistic to, you know, turn 1, summon Winda, double Dragostapelia with, you know, Kid Kalos, the Chop card, and a few other hand traps in your hand. That could actually make sense. So yeah, very, very simple deck list as well. Literally nothing complicated. In case you're wondering what this card is, it is the new Kelbeck monster. It's a hand trap, so I think it bounces back a monster summoned from like the extra deck that your opponent had back to the hand, and then it special summons it. But another really important thing about Kelbeck is that if it is sent to the graveyard or deck, I believe, by just overall, just not even by a card effect necessarily, so you can go like Twin Twister, discard this. Both players mill the top 5 cards from their deck to the graveyard. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the card does. And it's really freaking insane. So it's a hand trap, any card that allows you to mill 5 cards, and in a deck like Tier Laments where every single one of your monsters have a very nice graveyard effect, I think we'll both take that any day of the week. And yeah, the best ratio of Shadow monsters, so 1 Squamata, 1 Beast. Beast is the best one because you draw 1 card, but Squamata is also really good because it fuels your graveyard with an extra Shadow monster. So if you use the effect of 2 Tier Laments monsters, you can use, you know, shuffle back 1 Beast and then 1 Squamata, summon double Winda if you really want to, but that's not necessarily something that you really have to, you know, you really have to do. And now another thing about King of the Swamp that is honestly kind of unfair and degenerate is the fact that he can also substitute the name of Alistair the Invoker, which means that you can make Invoked Kaliga. This is actually incredible. I'm literally just beyond words when I look at text like that, and I'm like, I've never thought about that. So, you know, these guys winning tournaments, well, 250 players so it's kind of like a regional if you want to. But it's still something, you know, 7 rounds of Swiss with top 16 single elimination. So top 16, top 8, top 4, and then final, so 11 rounds total. It's almost like basically it's the equivalent of like the Swiss YCS rounds. So it's still something. It's not really the kind of thing that you can play in like one day. But actually you could, but whatever. I don't think it makes like that much sense. But yeah, just Jesus, oh my god, the caliber of play in those tournaments must be insane, because I've heard that the Chinese players were like the biggest innovators in the OCG. So, I mean, I'm not really surprised to look at a really awesome deck list like that. Now, I do have a few questions. If Super Poly is a 2, I actually learned, by the way, that this means that it's a 2, and Desires is a 2, why are you only playing one of each? I feel like those cards are kind of broken and you really want to max out on them. But anyways, double Meta Noise with 1. I forgot what this card did. Nobody's playing Foolish Goods in this deck. It makes sense because it's not like that good. But yeah, anyways, always trying to play 40 cards in this deck. Not playing with the Brand Diffusion cards and not playing with the Danger Monsters either. So yeah, completely pure all the way, but very nice deck list, even with the Millenniumizer Strict that you can summon off of Instant Fusion. But Instant Fusion can also summon the Kid Kalos as well as the Winda or the Invoca Liga. And of course, some Link monsters as well with Excite on Knight and Tie Thief Redoer. Now, Redoer, the reason for that is because when it detaches the material for its effect, it's not as a cost, so it's actually a card effect, meaning that if you have like a Tier Elements underneath, it will trigger the effect, and that would allow you to make like a big rank 4 monster or whatever. Sorry, a big fusion monster. Yeah, in the side deck, 3 Sphere Mode, very, very interesting. Wow. Okay, so you don't really have to care about your normal summon of... that is Reno Heart. Makes sense, because if you have Reno Heart and I think Shaitan or whatever, you can like special summon the Shaitan and then pitch the Reno Heart and then revive back the Reno Heart, etc. So you can actually afford to play without your normal summon. So Sphere Mode actually makes a lot of sense. Dark Ruler as well. Lightning Storm, the second Super Poly. Alright, fair enough. Double D-Bear in the Mirror Matches game. Double Skill Drain. Okay, I can't believe people are now citing Skill Drain in this deck. Like, what is the mentality? Is it that you're using your effects and then you're chaining something to like send your monster to the graveyard, like one of the trap cards or something? I think this one, I don't know, maybe that could make sense. And I think this is the counter trap card and finally Red Reboot. But yeah, there's definitely a lot to study with this deck list. But anyways, the second one would be the 60 card deck. So a lot of shutdown monsters. Fairy Tail Snow main deck Lava Golem, what the hell? What? Triple Ash, Triple Veiler, Rest Shuttle Incarnation. I really like this card when you mill cards in your deck because the graveyard effect actually comes up. And then the Shuttle Schism, Meta Noise, the Continuous Trap, the Counter Trap, blah, blah, blah. And yes, I mean, a lot of monsters, basically. A lot of fusion monsters as well. Now, in the, this is what I really like about the side deck. I can explain everything here. So, you might be looking at this weird Evil Twin monster and go think, you know, why are you playing an Evil Twin monster in a deck that doesn't play Evil Twin? And the reason for that is because if you're playing against a Link-heavy strategy, you can use Artemate Slay to send your opponent, well, at least return back the Link monster to the extra deck, and then send the Evil Twin Link 4 monster, and then you can use the graveyard effect of the Evil Twin Link 4 in order to send an Evil Twin monster from your deck or field to the graveyard. In this situation, it would be from the deck, in order to send any card your opponent controls to the grave. So in other words, this card basically becomes like a 1-for-2, which is very nice. It's kind of like similar to like Dogmatica Punishment, but on your own turn, and it's not once per turn. So drawing multiples of this card is ridiculously good. And I do believe that this card will be a staple once we get it in the TCG. It really is that good, trust me. Anyways, double Nibiru, Pancratops, Third Reboot, double Lightning Storm, double Trap Chick with the triple Deck Devastation Virus. Deck Devastation Virus is unfair against Splight. I believe they lose every single one of their monsters. Deck Dev makes you tribute a dark monster with 2k or more attack, and then your opponent has to say bye-bye to every monster that has 1500 or less attack. So every single Flunderies monster in the game dies, every single Splight monster dies, every single hand trap outside of like Skullmeister dies. It's ridiculous. And yeah, when you can turbo out with a Trap Trick, the odds of drawing, you know, this ridiculous blowout going first is like 50%. So very, very terrifying. Anyways, the third deck would be Danger Tier Elements. Again, the deck that we have seen being played by It's Your Boy, the world champion. So, yeah, no, so sorry. His name was Wang Chiacheng. Yes, the 2018 world champion, as I said. So that was his deck list, and now we are seeing something that is relatively similar. So Danger Nessie and Danger Mothman are the two Danger monsters that you're trying to play. The reason for that is because Nessie is an Aqua monster, So it fuses very well with Kid Kalos, which requires you to have a Tier Laments monster and an Aqua monster. And now Mothman is a level 4 monster, and it has the Dark typing, but not the, whatever the other type monster. So you can make a Muddragon of the Swamp, which is this monster, but you can also make a rank 4 Xyz monsters using Mothman and a bunch of your Tier Laments monsters. And that's the reason why Mothman is the second best danger monster in this deck. But also, Mothman always has a guarantee of getting you what you want, because even if it gets sniped, well, you're discarding like a Tier Laments monster and triggering its graveyard effect in order to fuse. So yeah, very broken card. And whatever, 3 Shuttle monsters, I think 2 should be enough. One of the, I don't even know what this card is, 1 Reno Heart, no, triple Reno Heart. Why would you only want to play 1? People are no longer playing Fusion Deployment, by the way. It locks you under fusions only, so you can't really summon your Xyz and Link monsters. Definitely makes sense, but whatever. Triple Maxi, double DD Crow, triple Ash, 1 Ghost Ogre, and 1 Reaper, and 1 Ghost Bell. The Reaper is always going to surprise me, man. What the heck? Random one of. I don't get it. Like, I guess you're drawing it off of Maxi, but still. Oh man, like, it's not like it was searchable or anything. Yeah, like, it has 1800 defense, so you can't even, like, crash the dark in order to search it. Maybe I'm missing something super obvious. Let me know if I do, but whatever. Still very nice. You're not playing Chaos Ruler either. Anyways, triple field spell. Well, no, actually 4 field spells. Instant fusion, double call by the grave. Not a lot of spell cards. Really interesting to see a fusion-based strategy that barely plays any spells. So if your strategy was to debury this deck or anti-spell this deck, you're not really going to go too far, because half of the extra deck are monsters that aren't fusions, and the deck only plays 7 spell cards out of 42 cards. That's not that much when you compare this to Despia, which plays mostly spell cards and only has fusion monsters. And that's, again, the reason why Tier Laments is the superior version of Despia, because it's basically on the same power level since it fusion summons so much, and it has a very good recursion game with the graveyard cards, but also it just doesn't lose to the side deck cards as much. Anyways, moving forward, 1 Sphere mode, very random, double Gamma Seal, again, very interesting, Lava Golem, Pancratops, Ghost Reaper. Reaper is really gaining in popularity. Are people trying to always Reaper the Kid Kalos or Winda? Either way, double D-Bearer, double Deck Dev again, and Artemate Slay. All these cards are everywhere. Like, if you want to get ready for the next format right now, just buy yourself 3 Deck Dev, highest rarity. You're gonna be rich in, like, a matter of just weeks. Anyways, 3 to 4th position would be a Splight. Nothing interesting or spicy here, so I'm not even gonna cover it too much. But the side deck has 1 random-ass non-fusion area. It's a game against the Tier Laments deck, so if you draw it, you win. And then after that, Splight, Evil Twin, whatever. Very good deck, though. I'm actually really shocked to see that even the Splight Evil Twin deck is still playing the Swap Frog engine. But it shows that even if Toad gets banned, this deck is still ridiculously good, because Splight Evil Twin is no joke at all. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for this article. So again, this is from Road of the King if you want to read it yourself, or actually there wasn't much of a read this time. It was just a bunch of pictures, but still something that we can analyze. The only thing is that we're missing an Exorcister deck list, but if you're subscribing to my channel, you will not be missing out on my future Exorcister combos and deck profile, because I do plan on making a revamped version of that deck very soon. Like I said, it is a tier 1 deck. It is really, really, really good. It has a lot going for it. Very, very insane follow-up. And the deck is also super consistent. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.